In the world of Marvel,
in the world,
it has for a long time been kind of a model of consistency, right? For a long time, like from the first Iron Man, and then for the years that followed, it was banger, banger, banger. Very, very little controversy ever. I think the biggest controversy for the first 12 years of the MCU was when Edgar Wright left the Ant-Man project and they brought in Peyton Reed, because so much time had passed from when Edgar Wright came on to when it was actually time to do it, that the direction of the MCU had changed, and Edgar Wright wanted to do the movie he originally wanted to do. Kevin Feige was like, but that movie no longer fits in what we're doing. And they amicably parted ways. But that, I think for the longest time, that was the biggest controversy they ever had. They never had choppy waters. Winning cures everything. And as long as they were making billion-dollar films, everybody was happy. We don't hear about a lot of controversy. Well, that's obviously changed with Marvel lately. And of course, culminated big time last year with all the drama that was going on with Jonathan Majors. And, you know, whatever side of that debate you fall on, we all agree it's a pretty big controversy. And it did cause a lot of upheaval for Jonathan's career, obviously, but also for Disney as a whole. It also didn't help that Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which was launching the character Kang. I mean, I know we saw him in the Loki thing, but really the big coming out party for Kang was supposed to be Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And that movie did not do well, and it was a terrible movie. That got some people wondering if they should change things. Then, of course, the arrest, the trial, all that kind of stuff. So it's left a lot of people wondering, what are they going to do with Avengers Kang Dynasty? Are they going to recast Kang and stay on course? Well, according to new reports coming out of the major trades, oh no, they're changing course, and drastically. This part comes to us from IGN, who writes the following. Marvel Studios is reportedly changing the title of Avengers: The Kang Dynasty to remove the character's name entirely as the fifth Avengers film gets retooled behind the scenes. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Avengers 5 will no longer be titled The Kang Dynasty, and sources claim Marvel was already making moves to minimize the character before Jonathan Majors' conviction and subsequent firing because of the Kang-heavy Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania underperformed at the box office. The Hollywood Reporter article goes on to confirm that they are actually talking about just removing the Kang character altogether. Just altogether removing the character and not even minimizing the character, forget about recasting it, just removing it out altogether. The interesting part here for me, Rob, was them saying that even before the trial, they were thinking about minimizing the character because the Kang thing just wasn't working. It wasn't working. And we talked about this before. You know, they introduced Kang in the first season of Loki. And while I love Jonathan Majors' performance, this didn't feel like the new bigger threat than Thanos.
No.
And then they gave him his own movie. It wasn't called Kang, but it was in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. He's the big bad guy. And he got beat up by Scott Lang and some ants. It wasn't that simple.
And then goofy Council of Kangs.
Yeah, and then like kind of a good, which I got a kick out of, I admit, but in hindsight, it was pretty goofy. But the problem was it just didn't win the audience over. No, none of the audience went, yeah, like, oh yeah, this guy puts Thanos to shame. Nobody felt that way. So it was kind of, the character was a lost cause. No fault of Jonathan Majors, who I thought delivered great performances, but it was a character that never caught on. The problem got exasperated when the fact that with the arrest, the trial, the guilty thing, all that kind of stuff, that hurt it as well. So, Rob, we've been hearing rumors for a while that Disney may want to change direction. There was even some whispers about, oh, we're just going to swap out Kang for Doctor Doom, which would bring it a little bit more in line with the more recent Secret Wars run that we've had. But this is the first time like outlets like the Hollywood Reporter are saying, yeah, they're changing the title. It ain't going to be called Kang Dynasty. We already knew they changed writers. We already knew that a while ago. But also talking about just removing the character altogether. And Loki Season 2, we talked about this as well. Loki Season 2 seems to have given them an out for that, because the ending of Loki Season 2 seemed to be saying that the Kang problem's solved.
Yeah.
The TVA is just now going to go down and hunt down the remaining Kang variants, and we don't have a Kang problem anymore. And it sounds like they're maybe going to capitalize on that. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. On average, it takes about 30 days for a person to break their New Year's resolution. So if saving money was on your 2024 list, your odds aren't looking that great. Luckily, I have a 100% guaranteed way to save you money this year. Just switch to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month. I've told you guys many times that after switching to Mint Mobile, I am spending less than a third on my cell bill than I used to with a major carrier. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All Mint plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And don't worry about having to change phones or numbers. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. So guys, to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bills to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Rob, what's your takeaway from the story we got there? And would moving away from Kang be premature? Is it the right move? How do you see it?
Well, John, like you said, it wasn't working. And they did not make Kang the formidable presence they hoped. I mean, obviously he existed in a really interesting milieu at the beginning of time, the end of time, outside of time. It could have been really, really well done. But I think his introduction was too sort of baroque and sort of maybe a little too esoteric. When we met him in Loki, I mean, he's not Kang then. He's He Who Remains. He's different Kang. Like, why should we fear him? And then when you see him repeatedly get defeated, where's the threat? You know, whereas obviously Thanos is an imposing character, but, you know, and Kang just was not presented as being somebody that was necessarily formidable. I mean, he kind of was, but they needed to lean in heavily more toward how he's portrayed in the comics. Now, I was looking to see, I went back and reread the Kang Dynasty storyline. It's pretty good, you know, but they have everybody in the Marvel, including the X-Men, they have everybody in that storyline. And I'm like, how can they even make that work where the Marvel Cinematic Universe is now? I think it was a good idea that just didn't pan out at all on many different levels. So I think what they're doing now, it shows that, look, sometimes things don't work. You pivot. And that's what the MCU is doing. I have faith in what they're doing now with these, as we said earlier, these 3 movies coming out, Deadpool and Wolverine, Brave New World, and Thunderbolts. I think that's exciting. I think that figuring out a new take on the Avengers movies, because John, the Avengers movies have gone from being $1.5 billion movies to $3 billion movies. They're
Right.
the biggest franchise title pictures other than Avatar in the history of cinema. You half-ass an Avengers movie, your cinematic universe is over.
Going back to the Kang thing and how they kind of dropped the ball in the introduction of Kang. When we first meet Kang, he's kind of this aloof guy, you know, in Loki season 1, and then Sylvie kills him. Then we see him in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and he loses a fight to Scott and ants and gets thrown.
And he's already stuck in the quantum realm.
Yeah, and he's already suffered a defeat. Now juxtapose that against how we met Thanos. Thanos, besides the end of the first Avengers of just turning around and smiling, like in Guardians of the Galaxy, like we meet this real badass villain with the Accuser, Ronan the Accuser, and we got Thanos sitting on a throne that everybody's trembling to, and Thanos is like, I will squash you like a bug.
Yeah.
And then our next real introduction, besides saying, I'll do it myself, but our next real introduction to him, we're in Avengers Infinity War, and what's the very first thing we see Thanos doing? Killing all the Asgardians and then beating the living shit out of Hulk. Kang, the way he's introduced, the way Thanos was introduced. And they kind of just dropped the ball on that. They should have come out stronger, I think.
And the thing is, I loved Kang in the comics. Reading Kang for years, and I was excited. Jonathan Majors, incredible performer. I like the design of the Kang character. It's just too bad it just didn't work out, but sometimes these things happen.
All right, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Is moving away from Kang the right thing? Is it being reactionary and maybe premature to move away from him? I kind of think the first thing. I think this is the right move, but I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Whatever you think, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.